down here in Crystal Creek, Florida.
Crystal River.
Oh,
Crystal River, Florida.
I got
Manatee capital of the world.
Got our manatee attire on. We are ready to see some manatee. And not the land manatee, people. We're going under the sea. Steven sees enough of those on his own, so. But we're going down the road here, as you can tell.
This is the hurricane impact zone.
Yes,
you can see that all the vehicles are still here.
If you look, there's not a single palm leaf on the ground.
All right, our quest today, folks, is to see a manatee out in the Crystal River Inlet. Paul, what
Yes.
are the rules?
Apparently,
And remember, Paul, it goes double for you. So the rules he says, it goes double.
apparently there are signs saying that you cannot touch, brush, fondle, or abuse the manatees. So Steven's gonna watch me very closely. I also told him that photography is not allowed, so we may both get arrested. There should be manatee here. I'm not sure. We've searched the world. We've been on trips everywhere to look for a manatee, and Steven has never told me about this place.
I've only seen a statue of a manatee in my lifetime. I want to see one out in the wild, and photography is allowed as long as I socially distance.
Oh yes, COVID rules, social distance. You must be at least 10 feet from a manatee at all times.
The manatee can touch you. You can't touch it.
Yeah.
Remember that, Paul.
This is somebody's house, dude.
Yeah, I think your GPS is
I'm
wrong.
pretty sure this is not.
I think
this
your GPS is
this
wrong.
is a dive shop. There are cars out here.
Oh.
Lots of cars. And we're on the water, as we'll show you guys.
heck.
Holy cow. Idle No Speedway. Crystal River Water Sports and Dive Park. I don't know where to park because there's no lines here, but that is the beach life, so we're gonna find a little spot. Yeah. First impressions. We thought we were in a neighborhood we like a shop. This is pretty nice. All right, guys, we have found this wonderful manatee sign. Steven can officially say that he's been a manatee. I would get in the other one, but I couldn't hold the camera, so that's kind of fun. We'll go inside here, see what we got, and hopefully it's not unlocked. Or it's not unlocked, I guess I would say. Okay, guys, here we are. We're Crystal River Park. I always get that wrong. But we got our paddleboard set up. Got mine blown up. Coolers, different paddles, fins, everything that we might need. It's the first day, so we gotta learn what works the best. It's been a while, but we'll figure it out real quick. Steven's over here doing the manual pump. We have an electronic one through our car that does the pressure and everything, but he is old school and he's doing a little pre-warm up. All right, guys, here we are loading up. Steven only took 48 minutes to get his paddleboard. Oh, he's gonna carry it like a man. There we go. But I'm gonna drag mine because I'm a pansy apparently. So we'll get it up, take it up. Redneck Yacht Club rolling in. But this will be a good trip. Got to figure it out, get our warm-up day, and then we got a whole week of this stuff. If we're lucky today, we'll see a manatee. Steven literally won't let him buy anything until he sees the animal he's here to see. Sea turtle, squid, any type of lionfish, but today it's a manatee, so we're supposed to see this. Now, we look like we're going off in some big, fancy oasis that nobody can get to, but there's like a million people here, so. And this is a Sunday. But. All right, guys, here we are. We're on the water. I started out on the seat first. But if you look, Steven's going right through a buoy. He's about to crash. Doing good. There he goes, right over a net with our paddle boards. So of course we get hooked. I don't even think we're supposed to be in this area, but here we go, lesson day one. Here we are, we're out on Crystal River. Steven, the master paddleboarder, flew ahead of me. I mean, he must have been 300 yards ahead of me. I don't know what he's doing. I think he got a current or something. He had drift, wake, everything. But we're out here. As you can see, there's not many people actually out in the water, but it is a beautiful day. Don't let people lie to you. This is a natural spring, so the water is pretty dang cold, kind of like the Nantahala. So everything out here is awesome, though. You got little islands we're gonna venture tour. We're still trying to make it to the Three Sisters Spring, which is a very lagoonish type thing, but the water I'm sure will be colder because that's where it comes straight out of the ground. Steven, falling behind in the background, but we got wind to get us, so obviously he was riding the wind earlier. That kind of told us a little secret, but we had a lady thought she saw a manatee, but it was a pile of rocks. we're still looking. Not saying that anything's impressive yet, but we will tell you what's going on. And Steven's determined to find a manatee. He's been asking every person that has paddled past him and boat if they've seen a manatee. So nothing yet, but we'll keep y'all posted on that. All right, Steven, we made it to the Three Sisters.
Yeah.
This is the entrance. Pretty clear water here. I can see all the way to the bottom. That is a beautiful shot right there.
Question is,
we're gonna have to go.
Will we find Three Sisters? That's
Yes, Steven may find Three Sisters. They may be manatees too. I just want to point that out. But we're gonna head in here and show y'all what's going on. All right, so we're up in the Three Sisters Spring. Let me explain a little bit to you about springs. So the water naturally comes from the ground, aquifers. It is coming up. As you go under this water, you will see it bubbling from beneath the earth. This is all natural, fresh aquifer water coming up to make all of this beautiful oasis. I mean, just look at that water. How insanely beautiful is that? We're gonna go in here now. Granted, it is 65 degrees, so we're gonna get really cold, but the sun's kicking up to 85 today, so hopefully we'll recover quickly. But as I'm sure you've seen in other videos for this area, you'll be shivering as soon as you come out. All right, guys, here we are. Steven's already in the water. He's a natural fish. He will jump in water much dirtier than anything you've seen in your toilet. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get in the water, swim around a little bit, show you some stuff. I don't believe there's gonna be a lot of fish here because it is so clear and so many people, and it's such a small funnel. They actually shut it down in the winter months because this is where all of the manatees come and huddle up. And it's a pretty amazing area, but I highly doubt there's any manatee here. I haven't seen any yet, so sad for Steven, but we got all week, so we'll find one. All right, guys, so we just got out of the water. Kayak's floating. That's a little bit of a pain for this area. They won't let us tie to anything. You can't step on the shore. You can't do anything like that, even though there are hundreds of people out here. But Steven is going back for a last swim. But the holes were beautiful. The springs, everything here is like 4 to 5 feet deep, which means you can stand up. And then when you get to the springs, they go down to like 30, right where they are. So it's crystal clear, white sand, and just a beautiful sight to see. Another thing, if you're looking to be secluded and not have anybody else around while you swim, this is probably not the place to go. This is one of the most well-known places in the area and relatively easy to get to. So, moral of the story is, if you don't want to be around people, don't come here. But otherwise, it is beautiful. Now, as we were told, we can't touch the shore or the rocks, and there's a little voluntary guy out here doing some patrolling. So Steven is going to swim out of the park, and I will follow naturally so that he can get on the shore and get back on his board. It is really hard to get on a paddleboard when there's nothing underneath you, especially with all your gear that you don't want to get wet. So we're about to roll through the exit here. These pylons that you can see, no boats or anybody can come in, just kayaks, swimmers, and paddleboards, which you barely fit through. But unbelievably, over 200, almost 300 manatees come in here every winter around November when they shut it down to kayak and paddle people. Going right through here. And then I did just hear that you're allowed to swim in here. You just cannot paddleboard or kayak in here during those times. And you definitely can't touch them. So I imagine it'd be like walking through a ball pit at the old McDonald's playgrounds and not touching any balls. He made it. He survived. He made it onto the paddleboard. Hey, Steven, it's the quiet area. There's a manatee. It's right. Steven. Yes. Steven right there, man. It's a pretty awesome moment right here. Nancy, Steven's racing back. He's gone. Yeah, no. There's no Manatee. There's no Manatee. There's no Manatee.
Where's he at?
There's no Manatee, Steven. There's no. I told you there's no Manatee.
What you said the Manatee?
It says quiet zone, Manatee zone. You heard Manatee. That's what I heard.
Dang on, I just jumped out here.
All right, we're out here in the bay at Crystal River. Steven's back on board. We may have just attempted to film the manatees that we saw. It was probably a mother and a child, but they were in this little bay back here hanging out, and the water's pretty murky out here. I will say that. In the actual springs, it's clear as it can be, but out here, they're coming up and sniffing us, and they're breathing, and they're hanging out. And, we did not touch anyone, but they were very close, so we could barely see them.
Yeah.
So we got some footage, I'm sure, that will show our experience, but I don't think the hard part's gonna be finding the manatees. I think it's gonna be finding the manatees in water that we can see. So we'll shoot for that the rest of the week. And I keep feeling like one of them's gonna pop up and sniff me, because they're very curious creatures. They're very, very nice, docile.
They don't like Steven.
Yeah, Steven likes to splash, like a trout or a 2-year-old child that starts to swim. So he probably went a good 300 yards trying to get a shot, but it's just murky out here. So. So as we were just discussing, the manatees, they were quite afraid of Steven Mertz. His flippers come above the water sometimes when he's snorkeling, especially in shallow water, and he sounds a lot like a motorboat. So I finally, within about 60 seconds, realized if I stay in front of the manatees, Steven's very likely to scare them in my direction. So it worked out really well for me on the paddleboard, watching our gear, as I filmed them from above and stuck the phone down in the water. But Steven, we'll see his footage in a little while, and I'm fairly certain he got very little footage of the manatees. I think he got a couple tails.
I got 10 seconds of the tail.
What's that song that Baby Got Back? Is that what he got? He's pretty good at the land manatees, but apparently when it comes to sea manatees, he only gets a little tail as well.
Yeah, it might have been 5 seconds of the tail. That was pretty quick.
Yeah. I know you can't tell the distance here, but we're paddling back right now from where we started when we saw the manatee, and it must be at least 3 football fields. We're not paddling very fast because I have a phone in my hand.
We burned off mows yesterday.
But yes, best diet plan ever. We burned off our mows, and that's not proprietary. And we had our little continental breakfast this morning, and here we are out here experiencing the nature of murky water and one crystal clear spring with no fish. All right, we just got back from Crystal River. Everything's on land. Steven, you survived? Yeah. Got a little suntan. Steven, you did too? I like it. We're officially driving out of the Crystal River Park, which was $5 for a vehicle and $5 per launched boat. So $15 for us, right? Luckily, we're right down the street from all the food and the hotel. It's a really easy destination to get to. Steven, what would you say what would you say about today? What was your thoughts on the whole experience?
The whole day, I give it a 5 out of 10 because Florida has so many great places. You can't give it a 10. You know what I mean?
I would probably give it a good 3.5 to a 4.
All right.
I've even seen spots in the New River that were more fun than that. So
True.
we drove all the way down here. It kind of hurts the scale a little bit, but I did like it. My day all in all was a very good one. Got a workout, got a suntan, got to splash around in some water, dirty water from chasing a manatee. But it was a very, very cool for me geographically to see the springs and where it comes out of the water from the fault lines and the fractures and the limestone, et cetera, et cetera. So, but that's me personally. Okay, so I have a question. We're at Crystal River, Florida, and there's dive shops everywhere. Literally 10 of them.
Yeah.
This morning we went to 4 or 5 of them. And I may be wrong here, so that's why I'm asking this seriously. Of everything I saw today, where would you dive at? And you probably know this, you researched it. That's why I'm asking this question. I didn't see anywhere I'd want to dive.
No.
Everywhere I went that was clear was shallow.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go and hover on the bottom for a minute and a half. Why would I want to spend that much money for 20 minutes of time down there? It was a very shallow, and when it wasn't shallow, it was very murky.
Yep. Dark. Like darker than dark.
Mm-hmm. We went to all the dive shops this morning, and we did notice that there might have been one of them or 2 of them that was legit, set up had everything for divers, but they did have scuba gear.
They don't carry cameras. Like camera equipment to go underwater.
No cameras. They didn't even know that scuba cameras existed. And I'm a very novice when it comes to this field. We just like fish and water. All right, the manatee statue. Whoa, that thing is big. We're going to go down here. Nice. Steven's first manatee.
I saw him today.
He didn't catch one today.
I saw him today.
I did.
I saw him today.
Purple. So, I think the day went pretty well all in all.
Yeah.
We got everything done we needed to. We got to the park, got a parking place, dive shops. We got to visit all the dive shops. And then we're just going to call it a day at that.